Hey guys, it's Wood Concept here. Welcome to the 13 week 1b Snapshot. So the 13w01a Snapshot was released yesterday, and I believe this one was released today, and there's been a couple of changes since the A Snapshot, which I didn't cover, but I will cover everything from the 13w01 snapshots so far. So the first thing I want to go over is this daylight sensor. This is a new block added that will give off a redstone signal depending on the light level given off by the sun. So this is the crafting recipe here. There's 3 glass across the top, 3 nether quartz in the middle, and then 3 wooden slabs across the bottom. This nether quartz I will go into with some more detail later on, but it is a new ore, basically, that is now available inside of the nether. The first nether ore so far. And right now is a good time to show this off right here. I don't know if you saw that right there, but as the sun was setting, the redstone signal got a little bit shorter and one of these blocks turned off. So you just saw it right there again, very plain. And once once one more goes down, I will set some different times and show off the different signals. So it will go off to the full redstone limit of 15 blocks at the maximum, and it will go all the way to 0 if there is no sunlight out. So that it would be in this case here, just midnight, right, or early night. So if we set it to the morning cycle right now, right in the middle of the morning cycle, it should be about halfway across here, and which it looks like it is, and it just lit up another one right there as the sun is rising. And eventually, let me step it up a little bit here, 1,000 ticks later it'll be here. Oh, missed it again. A little bit further on, only one more. Oh, I missed one. This one, there's only one more repeater left to activate, and then it's there. So I'll just leave it there. And yeah, basically this will have a lot of uses, I can see. I already thought of one, actually, although I don't remember it right now. Fail. Oh well. So let me go back over here, and we now have this new redstone block. This is how you craft it. It's like any other craftable block like this, and it will create this redstone block. Now, what is this redstone block? What is the use of it? It is basically a movable redstone torch. It will give off redstone power in all directions, and I've got a little bit of a demonstration right here. I forgot to reset this. And this is basically the T flip-flop I use most of the time. And this is the old T flip-flop that I would always use. It has to have this torch underneath it here to give this block power when it's over here, and therefore allowing the signal to go through. If you remember my bank in the Morgan SMP server, it has something like this, except I had to extend it up off of the ground to get it to work correctly and not have this torch like showing underneath. So if I click it here, so old and limiting and all that. But if we go over here, same thing, we've got the redstone block here, except now there's no redstone torch underneath it. There's no other input other than this, or output, and it is giving this command block a signal. So if I switch it over here, it will say hello YouTube, and then if I switch it back here, it'll say how are you doing today. So no other wizardry just output from this block right here, and it will be a very useful block I can see in the future. And obviously I've got chests right next to each other now, and you may be thinking, what is this wizardry? How are you able to do this? And that is with the help of this new block here, the trapped chest. It is just like any other chest, except that, well, it gives off a redstone signal when open. So if I do this here, as you can see, this repeater and the line after it is now lit. If I bring redstone in here, the reason the repeater was there, if you just had one here, for some reason right now it's only giving off a signal of 1. I think it's supposed to be more than that, but I'm not quite sure. And this is the crafting recipe here, the tripwire hook and the chest. I believe the tripwire hook has to be to the left of the chest in the crafting menu right now to get the trapped chest. This may change in the future, but if it was like this, for example, it didn't work. And of course, I already mentioned this. Trapped chests can now be put next to regular chests and just increase the storage capacity, and you can of course have double trapped chests. So the next new redstone contraption block thingy is the weighted pressure plates. These are the crafting recipes here. There are 2 types. There is the weighted pressure plate heavy and the weighted pressure plate light. And that does say light, by the way, it's just going off the screen here. And this is the crafting recipe again. 2 iron ingots for the heavy, and 2 butter ingots for the light. So, if we go over here, I've got a little bit of a demonstration set up here. Let me see if I can get a block to stand on, because I've already recorded this once before, and it was giving me some difficulty. So, let me get rid of that. And let me go on survival, just because it's easier to drop items. For some reason, if you go like this and click outside, it'll just delete the item. So both of these pressure plates do not work when stood on. Only items dropped on top of it will activate the pressure pad. And each one, if you have 1 item on it, it will activate the first bit of redstone. So if for the heavy pressure plate, it takes an additional 42 redstone to get it to light up the second one. After that, for some reason, I forgot to say in here. So that should also read. Yeah, it should read. Okay, that's good. So it now has 43 items here, and it has 43 on there. Oh, I'm not in creative, so it didn't matter anyway. So the next step here will need another 43, and it will have at least 86 items on there to activate the third. For the fourth one, another 43, and it will have 129 for the fourth one. So let me pick these back up again. This one, again, you just need the 1 for the first one. If we, again, need to stand on something, otherwise they'll just keep popping into my inventory. It will require an additional 4 to go to the second one. So there is now 5 items on there. Another 4 later, it'll be on there, 9. And another 4, it'll be the fourth one, 13 items. Let me save these for later and go back onto creative mode. So the next thing here are the hoppers. So, I forgot to get rid of these. But the hopper basically takes items that are dropped on top of it and puts it into the chest right next to it. So if I spam a bunch of items into the hopper here, it will go into the hopper inventory, and slowly, I think it's 1 per tick or 1 every second or something like that, it will put them into here. And obviously, I started with a stack of 64 here, and I have 1 left over. There is currently a glitch where it will sometimes duplicate 1 or 2 of the item you drop in there. Let me set the time so it's daytime. And this is the crafting recipe for the hopper. Yes, this is the hopper. The icon is work in progress, and the block itself is a work in progress. So probably that duplication glitch will be fixed by the time 1.5 is released. So we've got stone in a Y formation with a chest in the middle, and I'm just showing you can connect them to trapped pressure or trapped chests as well, and it will go inside. And again, I only threw 1 in here, yet there's 2. And then can show, well, I'm showing you can connect it to either side here. You can connect it behind, I think in front. The only thing you can't do is connect it below, because obviously it needs space to get stuff in. And I've got this little demonstration here. Let me reset it. And it's a really simple setup. I've got water trapped by pistons that'll come down and wipe out all of these wheat and be pushed into here. And I think, yep, I still got stuff in here from the last time. Let me get rid of them. This is my second time recording this, by the way. So let me get rid of those. It will eventually funnel all the way down. Of course, if I was actually building this for real, I would have it all the way up top there so that items can't be pushed or popped outside of it. And if you look in here, we've got a bunch of wheat and then seeds slowly going in, so the system can be overwhelmed and you can place items into the hopper itself, and it will slowly go down and then go into the next item. So something I forgot to mention is you can have up to 5 stacks of items, or 5 different items, inside of a hopper at the same, or at one time. After that, I think it just sits on top until there's room for it. I'm not quite sure. I have not looked into that. That may be something you want to mess around with, and if there is a glitch with it, it eats the item or whatever, then you may want to report it. I don't know. So yeah, that is basically all of that with the hopper. And let's go into the nether and see some nether. So now I'm right here next to my nether portal, and already I have found nether quartz right there, and then there's some over here and over there. If we just do a little bit of a fly through here, it is a fairly common ore, and I'm not sure what pickaxe is required to mine it up exactly, but when you do mine it, it will give you this nether quartz. Just showing that nether quartz ore, pickaxe, quartz. So, oh, didn't mean to show that yet, but now there's an easier way to get nether brick. Instead of finding a fortress and having to steal it from the fortress itself, you can now cook netherrack into nether brick and create nether brick. Yes, nether brick creates nether brick. I'm assuming that this nether brick is going to be called nether bricks or nether brick block in the future, just like with the other brick right here, the small item, and the bricks block. And yeah, that's basically all I have to do in the nether here, so meet you back on the overworld. And now we have this new redstone device here called the Redstone Comparator. Basically what this does is it takes a signal from the back, it compares it with the signal from either of the sides, there or there, and will output a signal depending on them. So B being this one here is compared with A. If A is greater than B, no output is given. So if it's like that. So if the output is closer, then there's no output here. So you can see it's way back here for here. But My brain just farted. There are a couple different things to note about this. So with this here, I've got, of course it's outputting right now. There's no output here, so 0 is less than, what would this be? That would be 13 going in here, because I believe it's 15, 14, 13, or maybe it's 14. I'm not sure. But it will, well, I guess I can just say 2, so that to make it easier, and it'll go all the way out, all the way to here. I'm just going to put that little marker there. But if we move the input way back here, the output doesn't go nearly as far. So it doesn't act like a repeater in where it boosts the signal that's coming out of it, but instead it just continues the signal along. Comes at 0. Let me, and then so if the outputs are the same even, these will output. So it's this greater than or equal to that. But if this is, if this is greater, of course that turns off. So there are also 2 settings here. If you right click on here, this little torch lights up here, and it looks like it pops out a bit as well. So if we've got, let's see, a weaker signal here and a strong signal here, obviously in this mode it'll go all the way out to here. But interestingly enough, if you turn this off, it will subtract these. So let's just call this 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 2, 1, 2, will give you 1, 2, 3 output. This is a very interesting trait, in my opinion, and definitely something that can be useful in the future. I have not actually thought of anything that would require this, although I definitely see the use of this for different redstone circuits. And something I forgot to do in this lonely chest right here is the crafting recipe. So it is similar but not the same to the redstone repeater. It's got 3 stone across the bottom, the redstone torch on the left and right, and that's about as far as the comparison goes. In the middle is the nether quartz instead of a redstone, and then on top is the nether torch, the redstone torch, and that will give you the redstone comparator. And that is basically all for the new blocks and recipes so far. There is, however, some other noteworthy things. We've got some new inventory controls, which are slightly, well, they're pretty cool. Let me get rid of this stack of redstone, and if you have an item in your hand, like a stack of items, and you hold right click, it will put one item in each slot that you select, even down to the bar even. And if you select a stack that is already full, it'll go yellow and won't be able to do it. Now I've got this whole inventory here. Let me just fix that. You can double click an item to pick it up, and it will stack everything of that item into that stack that it can. If you've got something like this, and then if I do this here, obviously can't put all into the stack, so it puts some in here. And also, that was holding the right click, by the way, I think I said left click before, the right click. If you hold left click, which is the normal click, you can drag to 2 different slots, and it will give you even slots or even amount of items here, or you can even go further. And as you can see here, there's a extra redstone. There's no extra redstone. There's 4 extra redstone. Still 4. 1 extra. 0. And it will basically give you even stacks in each of these spaces, and if there's some extra, it will keep it in your hand. So those are kind of cool little things. However, it is a little bit sluggish. If I go in here, this menu at least is kind of messed up right now. If you click this and drag really fast, I clicked on here, but I picked up a coal. I even on my last video, got all the way down to sandstone before it registered that I clicked. And that's why you saw if I was doing stuff like this, I am clicking on that redstone, but it's not registering fast enough. It's just a little bit sluggish right now, which hopefully it'll speed up as time goes on. And I've got this one last little circuit right here. You may recognize this. I use this for most of my builds, and this is just a pulse limiter. It will give you a 1-tick pulse, or a 2-tick if you go like that. Also called a monostable circuit, I believe. But I know it as a pulse limiter, so that's what I'm going to say. And interestingly enough, usually what this should do is allow this piston to spit out the block so that it's right here and have the piston retracted. However, it is no longer the case. And if you look right here, it is indeed a 1-tick pulse that this is giving, but the block is no longer spitting out. I believe Mojang said that they were not going to fix this. This was a glitch before, but I thought they said they weren't going to fix this. Maybe it was bud switches that they weren't going to fix. I have not tried that. Let me set one up and see if that still works. So maybe I was mistaken and it was bud switches that they were not going to fix. This is actually a glitch right here. As you can see, there is no redstone going into this block here, yet if we place any item next to it, it will extend. There's nothing here to suggest that it should extend, and if I get rid of this block, update it again, it will retract. So, interesting. I think what they really should do is have a buds like block update sensor block instead, because piston, well, actually that would kind of mess up some stuff. Maybe a block or a bud piston and a bud sticky piston. That would be interesting. And it would actually help a lot, because you could just have something like this, and you place a block next to it, and it will go off. Or move a block into it and it'll go off. That may be a cool thing for Mojang to add into the future. However, I know a lot of different things, or a lot of different, what do you call them, redstone circuits are going to be destroyed or rendered useless by this not working anymore. Including, no, not including my bank lock, the doors. So yeah, a lot of people are going to have to get around this, but there are so many different cool things coming in this Redstone update. And I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Hope you guys found this as cool as I do. I know not a lot of people are into Redstone and may not care as much, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.